stream on the PlayStation YouTube channel of the PS5 technical presentation hosted by Mark Cerny. Now, you can see it's going to start in 27 and a half minutes. So if you're watching the past broadcast, you're you're going to want to skip ahead. Sorry, that many minutes. I'm coming from a morning coffee segment that I do with my members. So if you want to be a part of those daily streams when we start in the morning as well as when we end our day, consider becoming a member on the channel. Click that join button. I'm going to end that segment and I'm going to redirect folks over from it. We are working on a big goal as well. Those of you that have memberships, consider bumping up to Member Plus, and then we'll celebrate and do another IRL stream as well as the date everything. So this is going to be the PS5 technical presentation hosted by Mark Cerny. It's only going to be about 9 minutes long, but we wanted to go live beforehand. Sorry, I had like one of those cough like tickles. I was going to cough throughout the whole show. Sorry about that. And while you guys are piling in from the redirect and while you guys are piling in from the notification, or if I'm on your homepage or whatever, make sure you quickly smash that like button. Let's get a quick rumble of likes here. And Bush and Ryucat renewed their membership while you guys were waiting. And if you are at a Member Plus and above, your membership renewals bump that member goal. And we're already at 115 for the week. You need to average about 100 a day, and you guys are already doing that to hit that weekly goal. It changes Friday night into a community game night. You hang out with me and Madam. We play a game with you. We can make her play games. We made her play Astrobot this last week. We've been making her play Destiny. It's been such a fun time. So if you guys have missed out on those, you can always watch the past broadcasts. V-Game Veteran gifts a member, and Fat Lump renews their Member Plus. That bumps the line to 117. Thank you, boys. And then Keeg renews on their Member Plus. Thank you, everybody who has bumped up to Member Plus. And then Joker Quinn gifts a member as well, and that bumps the line to 119. Thank you guys so much for the support of the channel. Every 25 members, I still give 5 back as well. So yesterday I had to gift 20 members. Sony increased all the prices of their products. I believe they increased the price of the PlayStation 5 in Japan. That's particular to the yen. But I don't know if they've done that. I know they bumped some controller prices. Was that in every market or select markets? They bumped them by like $5. Another gifted member from Force of Will sets us up for a 5-bomb dunker. If anybody takes the bait, we'll see if anybody gifts the 5-bomb and bumps us to 125. I don't think pre-orders will start today, no. And a single from Sir Gabby. Thank you so much. A little bit of a gifted train. These are good days to gift members to the community. Got a lot of people hanging out. Already we have almost 500 people here. So guys, make sure and smash that like button. Dr. Killshot with almost 2 years of memberships. Just want to say, you the man. I'm so happy for your continued success. Can't wait for the malding after this presentation. Thank you so much, Dr. Killshot. Guys, as a reminder, when you renew your membership, if it just says member and it doesn't say Member Plus, consider bumping up. It's only $1 more, but it gives us a way to differentiate between gifted members and paying members. I do extra content for the paying members as a way to say thank you. So you want to bump up to take advantage of that. And 2 5-bombs in a row come in from Siege, Master, and Belphegor and takes us to 131, but then 132 because Bushin Ryucat also gifts a member. That's the way we do it around here. If you guys get a gifted membership, say thank you to the person that gifted it. That's very kind. They're basically giving you an all-access pass to our Discord, to morning coffee every morning, how we start our day with members. We end our day with the writer's room, and then Friday nights, you can hang out with my wife and I. It's a good time. We have drinks, laughs, and play games. So, again, be sure to take advantage of that. And if you do enjoy the membership, do what Optimus O'Brien did. Make sure you're at a Member Plus. And then when you renew that every month, it counts towards the goal. So thank you so much, Optimus O'Brien. Mikey Barra responded to that guy with a clown emoji and a 10-bomb from our boy Detective Seeds, who almost hit a bullseye this week when he said that we would get a showcase on the 12th for the PS5 Pro. Little different than a showcase, but still close enough. Close enough. Thank you so much, Detective Seeds. And a 5-bomb comes in from Force of Will. You guys are on a tear right now. Already 2 members away from 150, and I'll owe you a 10-bomb. Amazing to see. PS5 Pro leaks. I love it when people do that. They put out the leaks and like what they like stick a sticker to the side of a PC. I retweeted Mikey Barras clown. The gifted member show, that's right. And Danaheim with a month of Member Plus. Lono, couldn't stomach any more D2 guys. I think we need a new goal. You guys could make her go back into Astrobot. She really doesn't want to go back in. Danaheim bumps it to 149, and then it's going to be 150 thanks to Alex, and then 151 thanks to Delta Boss. I now owe you guys a 10-bomb. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support this channel. You guys, if you're new here, you might notice this isn't a very large channel. We're on the road to 50K subscribers, which is a huge achievement, but we do this full time. I do uploads, I do live streams, I do members only content, and the reason we're able to create so much content and the reason I'm able to do this full time is because of the insane amount of support that we get from you people that gift those members. So if you want to keep this thing going with the way that people gift members like that, a great way to do that is upgrade to Member Plus. That's like gifting a member to somebody. You're giving up your seat and you're allowing somebody else to get those gifted members every month. James gifts 1, and then Dodevas comes in with a 5-bomb. That's 6 more, and that takes us to 157. Celebrating PS5 Pro Day, I guess. IGN executive producer Damon Hatfield claims no one wants a PS5 Pro, and yet just a few weeks ago he dedicated an entire show to the PS5 Pro and criticized Sony for not announcing it earlier. I told you, it's just cognitive dissonance copium. I don't get what these people are thinking or how they're thinking. It's just this weird cognitive dissonance constantly. Paco renews their membership and it's a VIP. That counts. That counts. That's a great reason to be at the Member Plus level or VIP. Every time you renew. You people? That's right, you people. What do you mean, you people? You generous people. Why do people care about IGN? I think my favorite thing that is happening is really dishonest people and dishonest gaming news outlets are continuing to lose their relevancy, and it's just deserved. It's so deserved. They're getting exactly what they deserve. They won't be around in 5 years. Write that down. They won't. None of these outlets are going to survive. Their operating costs are at a level that cannot be sustained by their continued self-inflicted irrelevancy. So, it was nice knowing. Well, it wasn't. It wasn't nice knowing any of these outlets. They've all been, not all, but a lot of them have been abysmal. Sadly, one of the outlets that I actually thought was very good is one of the ones we lost recently, which was I liked Game Informer. I thought they were one of the more reliable outlets. Good interviews, good coverage, good reviews. I appreciated them. I'm sad we lost them. I'd rather not have IGN around if we were going to choose, right? If we were going to choose like Survivor Island, which outlet would be okay with, being kicked off the island? Could we trade IGN for Game Informer, please? Rainwaters with 14 months. Good morning. Looking forward to the presentation. Thank you so much, Rainwaters, for 14 months of memberships. Guys, use that upgrade command. Here, I'm going to do it in chat. Oop, I can't spell. There we go. Use that upgrade command. Click that link and pick that Member Plus. You're a real one for that? I mean, Game Informer was always good. I liked their interviews. I liked their digital edition of their magazine. I felt like their reviews were solid. And I never once felt like Game Informer was out here rage baiting for Twitter blue money the way that IGN does and the way that their executives and editors do. It's like, get out of here. That's bad faith, like impression farming. Just get out. It's just tiring. Remember when IGN got community noted for misquoting the fact that the PlayStation 5 was entering its latter stages when the actual quote was it was entering the latter half? You remember they got community noted, and what do? They just publish the same tweet with the same image again, hoping that it wouldn't get community noted. Like, literally just trying to make money off of dishonesty. Like, latter stages sounds like it's coming to an end. Latter half means, oh, we're entering the second half. Like, they don't even understand how the English language works. They think they can just change words, and it's like, you can't do that. You can't directly quote somebody and just change the words. You're no longer quoting them. Force of Will with a gifted member takes us to 159. I'm hearing people say it'll be 700 plus. I'm hearing that it's going to be like 600 for digital, 700 for the disc. I feel like 700's too much, personally. I feel like 600 for digital, 650 for disc is like the sweet spot. I feel like somebody's going to, I don't know, 699. I feel like people are going to look at that and be like, huh? Especially because you can buy the disc drive separate for like $80. So you could buy the digital for 600 and buy the disc drive separate and spend less money. I don't get, why are you charging people if that is indeed the price? Belphegor gifts a member and bumps a line to 160, trying to summon the big boys to rocket us to 200. We'll see if anybody takes the bait. Belphegor. Yeah, I think 700 is too much. 600 is, I think, a perfectly fine price for digital, and then 650 for the disc drive. Right? Give them a little bit of savings by buying it bundled. You think 550 would be ideal? Oh, 550, 600. Yeah, remember when they did that to kill the Justice League? It's already marked down 37% in the UK before launch day, and it was like a separate website. This is false. The price drop is from an eBay seller who is trying to promote their online store. IGN's lucky they haven't been sued for defamation by Game Science. That article was 100% an attack piece with the aim to discredit their company. Yeah, my favorite thing about the IGN piece on Game Science, I think my favorite thing about it is they stood by they called it their reporting or whatever the frick they wanted to call it. And I think what was the most remarkable thing about that is the author of that IGN article was Rebecca Valentine. And she was the same one who wrote the Puff piece for Bungie and helped them cover up their toxic work environment in 2021. And come to find out, one of the people that was protected by that was Christopher Barrett, a predator who was fired for abusing his power. It's like, so you want to come out here and write your article about Game Science based on, there were some recruitment posters and some posts on forums from like 10 years ago. It's like, and you want to wax self-righteous and virtuous when you quite literally wrote a puff piece trying to make Bungie look like a hero in 2021 when quite literally there were people at the company that were afraid to say anything because the retaliation culture was still well in place. But, you know, Pete Parsons came with numbers in his hands to talk about how diverse their employees were, because that's the antidote for a toxic work environment is diversity hiring. That'll fix it. Like, get out of here. You think it'll be 600 digital, 700 disc? That's what Detective Seed says he heard from his sources at PlayStation. So, there's already 1,000 people here. Guys, if you've never been here before, real quick commercial. I'm usually in this scene doing a daily gaming talk show with the audience. Hit subscribe, hit the bell button if you like that kind of content. I'm also safe for work. We do game reviews, we do game discussions, we do co-streams of live events like this. So be sure to hit the subscribe button. You might even get a gifted membership the more often you show up, if you hit like, if you leave comments, if you watch my uploads. I do a daily upload. Well, not a daily. We try to do at least 2 to 3 uploads a week in addition to all of the live content. You might get a gifted membership. And if you do, you can take advantage of our Discord and hang out with the community there. And you can also hang out with us every morning in morning coffee before the day starts, and hang out with us at the end of the day in the writer's room where we prepare the next day's shows. Yeah, oh, and press the like button. Hitting like is free. With 1,000 people here, let's set our sights on 300 likes. Let's hit that. Do I think the scalping will be as high? Well, my hope would be that they've gotten better at how to handle that with PlayStation Direct. Like, personally, I think if you log in with your PlayStation account into PlayStation Direct and you are an active PlayStation user, like you've bought and played a game in the last 6 months, I feel like you should be, at the front of the line, because that would basically take the bot accounts that are not active, they're not buying PlayStation games, they're not playing games, they're literally making PlayStation accounts just to buy and scalp them. I believe those accounts should be filtered to the back of the line because they're not legitimate consumers. They're attempting to disrupt the pipeline of the product. They don't offer a genuine service. They're scum. They're bottom feeders. Like, you basically disrupt supply to consumer in order to try to make a profit. I think it's a joke. So I liked near the end of the scalping era of the PS5, a lot of those guys couldn't get rid of them and lost money. And I celebrate that. I hope they do lose money. I hope it's commercially bad for them so they stop doing it. Doubt it. I don't remember the PS4 Pro being scalped. Yeah, but the scalping meta has taken a foothold because of the technology. People have gotten good at basically bot scalping anything that they know will be in short supply. Do Walmart and Target have an incentive to disrupt scalpers? I don't think so. Like, I don't think they do. They're just trying to move the product. They don't care. I think PlayStation should try. I know a couple of the outlets did try to help prevent scalping. Like, I know GameStop did. I know Best Buy did. They would make you log in with, like, a Best Buy rewards. That's how I got my first PS5. I went to Best Buy, and you had to log in with, like, your Best Buy rewards account. And a lot of the scalpers just aren't going to take the time to do that. They're going to go the other routes where they don't need an extra account. So, I may end up having to do it this time, depending on where you can get them. If Walmart has stock because they disrupt scalpers, it could get them future business. Oh, right. Like, you maintain... Yeah, I mean, if you maintain your stock even for an extra hour by stopping the scalpers, that's probably better for you as a consumer, right? Like Walmart and Best Buy and those places, they have an incentive to interact with the real consumer because that real consumer might buy a controller. They might buy a cable. When they come into the store to pick it up, if they are going to pick it up like I did, when I'm there, I might buy a game. I might shop around. I might do something else. A scalper's not going to do that. The scalper is purely interacting with your retail site in a mechanical way. They just want the product so that they can scalp it and sell it. So these outlets like Best Buy and Walmart and Target, they may have an incentive to stop scalpers because you're far more likely to get attachments and add-ons when you're dealing with the real consumer instead of a bot. Never faced an issue getting a console, got a PS5 and Series X day one. I mean, you're lucky. A lot of us didn't have that luxury. I got a Series X first and I had to wait. I kept trying to get the PS5. I think I got it my second try. I'm going to go back to GameStop because they enabled me to get a PS5 last time. That and COVID was a fresh thing, preventing corporations to sell certain high-demand products in their stores to avoid big crowds. Yeah, so, scalper bots and the meta of scalper, definitely got an increase because of that. Guys, thank you for the enormous turnout. If you've never been here before, the name of the channel is Reforge Gaming. I go by Lono. I'm usually in this scene, just chatting with the audience. It's a gaming talk show. We cover a variety of topics. We've covered PlayStation a lot. We've covered Xbox a lot. We cover Nintendo probably the least, but that may change with the Nintendo Switch 2 next year. We love covering these live events. So with Tokyo Game Show at the end of this month, and maybe a State of Play. We're hoping PlayStation does a State of Play as well, instead of just doing this and then waiting to show us anything until Tokyo Game Show. Yeah, we're hoping we can get that. But if you like this kind of content, take a quick second, hit subscribe, hit the bell button so that you get notified whenever I'm streaming, and smash the like button. Now, I do a daily live show, okay? If I'm ever not on your homepage, that can happen sometimes. YouTube can get kind of finicky, and you can't rely on the notifications either. That's a really good reason So always check the sub feed, but also it's a good reason to follow me on Twitter at Reforge Gaming or get into my Discord so you don't miss out on the content. Force of Will gifts a member and bumps the line for the week to 161. We always have a weekly member goal. Friday night, I do a stream with members with my wife, and you guys can turn that into a community game night, and you guys have consistently hit that goal like the last 3 or 4 weeks. All right, let's see. Let me make sure we have sound. One of the volume mixer. Okay. They must not be doing sound just yet. So. Serious question, says Eric. If this is 6 to 700, should I wait for the PS6? Or is this the best option in the meantime? I mean, we have no guarantee the PS6 is 4 years away. What if it's 5 years away? Even if it is 4 to 5 years, you want to wait that long? I don't know why you would. I mean, that would be your choice. John always gifts a member, and then a 5-bomb comes in from D-Tom and takes us up to 167. Thank you guys so much. Currently, I owe you guys 10 members. I've been kind of waiting every 100 just to do the 20 bomb because you guys have been so consistent. These are great days to gift members. We got a lot of people here. We can expose them to just how generous and awesome this community is, and then they can go hang out in our Discord and get to know the community if you're looking for people to play games with. And J Stubbs renews his membership, and because it's a member plus, it counts toward the goal. What would even make the PS5 Pro worth it? Well, that's a question for the consumers that want it. If you look at a product and you think that you don't want it, that doesn't mean that everybody else agrees. There are plenty of products that I have zero interest in and they sell incredibly well, right? I mean, that's just the nature of consuming anything. People thought that the PlayStation Portal was DOA and was stupid, and it's been an incredibly successful accessory for PlayStation, and I love mine. But then there are tons of people that are like, they have zero interest. They're like, no, I'm not interested in that. So I think a PS5 Pro is worth it. Why? Because I want all my games to run as good as possible on my consoles. Like I bought a Series X and a PS5 because when they started talking about like, you know, higher resolution and higher frame rates and, you know, instantaneous loading, I was like, that all sounds great to me, and that's why I bought them. Josh with a $2 super chat. No matter the price, it won't be worth the upgrade. That's your opinion. And you should live your life according to that. If your conviction and your opinion is that it's not worth it, then don't buy one. It'll make more room for the people that think differently than you. You know? I mean, we had this discussion the other day about Astrobot. Somebody said that Astrobot should be $29.99, and I said, well, as a consumer, you should not buy Astrobot then, and you should go buy $29.99 games and look and just, you know, see the kind of quality and value you get when that's what you're willing to spend. You know, if you think something isn't worth the money, then you shouldn't buy it. That's what you should do. Sony fanboys? No, I would say they're just consumers that have a different value, just a different value system than you. You know, to me, it's a sign of insecurity that you have to insult and label people that are buying a product that you don't think you want. You know what I mean? Like, I think that just shows a sign of insecurity. That's just like emotionally immature to be like, well, I'm going to name call because these people want something that I don't. Like, why aren't you secure enough in your, like, are you a man or a boy? Because, like, a man would say, I really don't like this, but I'm not, like, threatened by other people wanting it. You know what I mean? There are guys that spend tons of money on their car or on, like, Warhammer figurines or, you know, fly fishing, and I have no desire to spend money on those things. I would never insult the people that find value in them. Because I'm not an immature boy who feels the need to insult people because they like something I don't. You know what I mean? Like, have the emotional maturity to be like, yeah, I don't want it. I don't think it's worth it, but other people do. Paul with 26 months. Member plus, he bumps the line to 169. Nice. Henry Cavill, by the way. Right, like, you know? If you don't want something, that's totally fine, but to tell others they should or shouldn't, yeah, I mean, that's just weird energy. You know? Just weird energy, man. I'm a man. I'm 40. That's right. I'm a man. I'm 40. I was so mad when I turned 41. I wasted my entire year that I was 40 years old on not using that more. Lona did tell people not to buy Star Wars. But yeah, but that's a quality assessment. If I play something and think that it's bad and think that it's not worth purchasing and basically make that recommendation, I don't call people names that decided to buy it, though. Right? How could somebody make a quality assessment on the value of a piece of hardware? Right? Like, if you buy a TV and it performs poorly and it's glitchy and buggy and doesn't work well and you tell people not to buy the TV, that's a quality assessment and you're attempting to help people. If I looked at a TV and looked at a commercial for the TV and determined that it wasn't worth it and then try to convince people not to buy it, I think that's completely and utterly different. That's like a false equivalency. Like, the PS5 Pro hasn't even been officially announced. It's not available for purchase yet. So to determine that it's not worth it is just weird. And then for people to be like, well, you know, I'm interested in upgrading. I think mid-gen refreshes are exciting. And to just call those people fanboys is just a sign of insecurity. It's like, why do you care? You know, do you go to the Apple presentations too and like call those people something? I mean, what do you call Apple fanboys? What do you even call them? What? You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine if every company had this level of like fandom, like the name calling, you know? Angry Pete gifts a member and rounds us out to 170. Thank you so much, Angry Pete. You know what I mean? How dare you guys be excited about this new product? A $5 super chat from Luke Vader. I'm annoyed Chris Dring is trying to ruin our day by telling everyone sales are really low for Astrobot. I mean, somebody asked me what I thought Astrobot sales were going to be, and I said I didn't think they were going to be astronomical. I don't think it's going to be one of those games that has like the high commercial sales. Now, it might have a slow upward trend as time goes on and the reviews land, but like, if people expected that game to sell like a Spider-Man or a Horizon or a God of War, I don't know. I don't know if I expected that. It's just, I mean, people were asking me. I was like, I don't think it's going to be this monumental commercial success. Chris Dring is he's a contributor for GameIndustry.biz. Astro doing 6 or 7 million lifetime would be impressive. Yeah, like if it can get up above 5 million lifetime, that would be amazing. But like, it's not that kind of game. It's not like a barn burner. It's highly reviewed, highly praised. It's a media darling, but that doesn't always translate into massive commercial success. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is another title that has done incredibly well with the review outlets and critics and the analysis of the game's quality, and yet its commercial success is not on par with like a Horizon or a Spider-Man or something. All right, 20 seconds. Guys, smash that like button. Let's get 400 likes before the show starts. Over 2,000 people here. Holy mackerel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Keep those member gifteds going, guys. Let's hit 200 members, and I'll drop a 20 bomb. Let's get all these people added into our community here. All right. We should have music from them in a second. I'll stop mine.
Hi, I'm Mark Cerny. I'm excited to be here to talk about the newest addition to our console lineup, PlayStation 5 Pro, and how it advances gaming technology. But first, I want to take just a minute to look at what we put in the original PlayStation 5 and how it delivers an exceptional gaming experience. When PS5 debuted in 2020, it brought a lot to the table. 8 Zen 2 CPU cores form the brains of PlayStation 5 and enable high-speed complex gameplay, with character counts reaching into the hundreds and frame rates that can be as high as 120 frames a second. PS5 has a powerful RDNA 2 GPU, which can render anything from intricate details to fantastic worlds with vast panoramas to explore. Ray tracing allows for dramatic visual improvements, including reflections off of water or glass, and the realism that comes from real-time global illumination. A custom SSD can load data at breathtaking speed, resulting in ultra-fast transitions between game worlds and data streaming rates so high that traversal speeds are essentially unlimited.
You okay? I'm working on it!
Tempest 3D audio tech brings an unparalleled sense of immersion to the sound of the games. With audio so real, you may not even need to see the enemies to know exactly where they are. Finally, the DualSense controller has haptics that let you feel through your hands what your character is experiencing inside of the game. It's wonderful to see such variety and richness of game experiences. Creators have made amazing use of the hardware capabilities, but when I talk to them, I do hear about their desire for more graphics performance. The dreams of the developers are bigger than can be supported at 60 frames per second, and that leads to an aspect of modern gaming that we're all familiar with: graphics modes. It can be a difficult choice for players. Fidelity modes emphasize the visuals, typically through higher resolution rendering. These modes might also have enhanced detail or use more ray tracing. But the games only run at 30 frames per second. The visuals can be choppier and the controls less responsive. Performance modes emphasize frame rate and interactivity, typically choosing to run at 60 frames per second, mainly by reducing the graphical detail until those frame rates can be achieved. When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time. Removing that decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key targets for PlayStation 5.
He said 3/4 of the
We want to
time.
give players the graphics that the game creators aspire to, at the high frame rates that players typically prefer. To do that, PS5 Pro substantially improves over PlayStation 5 in 3 ways. Here's what we call the Big 3. First, we made the GPU much larger and increased the speed of the memory it uses. The result is rendering that's up to 45% faster. Second, we made major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach that allows calculation of the rays at double or even triple the speeds of PlayStation 5. And finally, we added custom hardware for machine learning and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short. PSSR analyzes the game images pixel by pixel and can add an extraordinary amount of detail, which boosts the effective resolution of the games. Game creators are adding PS5 Pro support to new and existing titles, and with the Big 3 involved, the results can be pretty amazing, with graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail, but at double the frame rate. Here's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 Pro. It has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second. Let's compare this to the Fidelity mode on PS5, which is only running at 30 frames per second and is therefore much choppier.
It looks so... Oh my god.
This goal of delivering almost Fidelity-like graphics at performance frame rates has been achieved for a broad set of titles, including Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. We can see that PS5 Pro is close to doubling the power of PlayStation 5.
It looks so good.
Another way to compare the two consoles is to look at PS5 Pro versus Performance mode on PS5, both of which target 60 frames per second. What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5. For this, my favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet & Clank. Distant details are much clearer. And here we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution throughout the scene, including the trees and procedural cars. So overall, some remarkable improvement to the games. On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the graphics or smoother and more responsive gameplay. This is the big three showing their value. As you've been seeing, machine learning via the PSSR library is being used quite broadly to add pixel detail and boost frame rate. But there are as many approaches as there are game engines. The increase in raw GPU power is being especially effective for Horizon Forbidden West. Apart from the detail boost, that extra graphics power is allowing for improvements to lighting and visual effects, as well as to the hair and the skin in cinematics.
Open up, guys. Jorv's orders.
Good enough for me.
Ray tracing is finding broad usage as well, particularly when the games are focused on higher frame rates. The faster hardware in PS5 Pro can make a real difference, allowing Gran Turismo 7 to add ray-traced reflections between the cars in gameplay, while continuing to support their targeted 60 frames per second. That boost in ray tracing is also delivering big wins for Hogwarts Legacy, allowing not only for better reflections and a greater variety of reflective surfaces, but also for further realism in the casting of shadows. I hope you've enjoyed this run-through of the technology behind PlayStation 5 Pro. Simply put, it's the most powerful console we've ever built, and a worthy addition to the PS5 family. Let me wrap this up by giving you a quick look at a number of games running on the new console. You'll never...
All right, I'm gonna mute. I don't want to get this broadcast muted because we've gotten such impressive viewership today. So I'm gonna mute this section because they said there would be copyrighted music, and I can avoid having to mute the broadcast. So let me just...
Close your eyes. It'll be worth it.
Okay.
Did I do it? Oh, what is this? What's with all the neon? $700, November the 7th. $700. I don't think that's the disc drive version either. Jiminy Christmas, that's way higher than I expected. That was a lot of games at the end. How many games was that at the end that are basically, he's saying, were those PS5 Pro enhanced games? Or was he just saying these games are running on the PS5 Pro? So we've got Spider-Man, Final Fantasy 16. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 7. Horizon. Last of Us Part 2 remaster. Demon Souls remake. Ratchet and Clank. I think that is that Silent Hill. No, that's Alan Wake. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Gran Turismo. I'm just counting all of the games. That's Spider-Man again. Hogwarts. I'm at 10. I'm at 10 games. Did he say these were enhanced or they were just running on the PS5 Pro? First Descendant. That's 11.
Is that Dragon's talking about? That's more Alan Wake 2. So, 11 games, roughly? I want to go back and see what he said. What did he say?
By giving you a quick look at a number of games running on the new console.
Yeah, he just says running on the new console. So they just showed 11 games running on the new console. So, all right. Let me debrief with you guys, and thank you so much, Stone Spire. He put us at 175 members. We're now 25 away from 200. Guys, there's like 4,100 people here. So many people here. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe. We're going to be breaking this down and discussing this. Let's give some members. Let's have a big, big day. All right? So let me debrief with you guys on this just a little bit. The thing that I loved about this presentation is I feel like Mark Cerny is talking directly to people like myself. It's like he literally said that people are choosing performance mode 3/4 of the time. So all this time we've been saying, I've even been saying it. I was like, I think a lot of people just pick quality mode and they don't notice some of the issues that I notice in games when I get frustrated, like with a game like Wukong, like with Space Marine 2 performance issues, or some of the frame rate issues that we saw with Jedi Survivor. I thought, yeah, I guess people are just picking the quality mode, right? Thank you for the gifted member, Force of Will. And so he said 3/4 of the time people are picking performance mode. DK Bager gifted a member. Thank you so much. So it's like they're basically saying, listen, we want that to be our target. We want that to be the thing that isn't compromised. This section right here where he says you're choosing between performance and fidelity. And he basically breaks down why you end up choosing one over the other, but you feel like you're having to sacrifice something. The PlayStation 5 Pro is basically going to be like, you don't have to sacrifice that anymore. The gameplay that they showed off for The Last of Us Part 2 remastered on the PS5 Pro, Spider-Man, and what was the other one? Ratchet? Unbelievable. Here's the blog post. Let's take a look at the blog post. They looked so good. Yeah, $700. I was not expecting that. That means the disk drive version's going to be more. That's crazy. That's so high. I think they know. I think they know people are going to be willing to pay for it. I think they know. People are going to be willing to pay. Naughty Dog's next game is going to be crazy. That's what I'm saying. $700 disk drive is optional. Wait, so it's $700 no matter what? And the disk drive is optional? Or is $700 the disk drive version? Can you get the digital version of the PS5 Pro for less? The disk drive version is $800? Are you serious? Or are they just selling it digital only, no disk drive, and you got to buy the drive separate? No PS5 Pro exclusives? Why would you expect PS5 Pro exclusives? That's a weird expectation. It's a mid-gen refresh. It's not a brand new console. Expecting exclusives for the PS5 Pro is weird. Only one version. Okay. $700 for marginally better graphics? Ridiculous. I mean, that's your opinion. My opinion is this is the most powerful console in the market, and I want it right now. Like, we're just different consumers. Like, when I see this gameplay of The Last of Us, I just played through this game. My jaw immediately dropped. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Look at the lighting and the fidelity, and, like, no compromise on performance. Look at her animation. Look how smooth she looks once you're actually running at 60 and still getting all the great lighting, all the great crisp graphics. You're basically giving me the ability, I don't have to choose anymore. Like, look at Spider-Man. I get to play a game that looks and moves and acts like Spider-Man, and I get all the great lighting. I get all the great graphics, and I still get 60. That quite literally is perfect for me. Like, look at the animation in the explosion when he shoots the ship when they zoom in here. Watch it on the left. It's just completely different. I can't believe that people are like, oh, yeah, it's just marginal. That to me is a huge bump. I was right. What was I right about? This here, did you guys catch this? it's not just increased detail. Do you see how the glass is not transparent in this shot and it's suddenly transparent in this shot? Like, the level of detail they're able to give you at distance is really impressive. Here especially, too, I like that he said this was his favorite to zoom in on. Because you're like, well, who's going to zoom in on games? It's not about zooming in on games. It's about when you're playing this game, they are maintaining a level of graphical detail at a distance. That always makes a game look better. Instead of things at distance getting like blurry and muddy, they're staying crisp. Like this, the difference in the tree here is remarkable. You guys are going to have to watch this on your own, by the way. You're not going to get the best quality by watching. You're watching me capture it through a capture card. So you're going to have to go and watch it. You're the guy who buys an iPhone every year, and you're the one that's jealous I can. 2-Spot from PW H-Town. Thank you so much. I actually don't buy an iPhone every year. I'm still on like an 11 Pro. It's a hand-me-down from my wife, and my screen is cracked. But I know it's hard to not be excited about something when other people are. Tom Henderson, play has no limits. It effing does, and it's $700. You subscribe just to tell me that I'm gay? Okay. I mean, I'm married with 2 children, but I know, again, it's a hard day for some of y'all. So they showed at the end of this broadcast, they showed 11 games. They showed 11 games that are running on the Pro. I wonder if all of those games are PS5 Pro enhanced. Right? I wonder if they're all... Look at the apples. Where? What are you talking about? Apples? The apples? In which screenshot? What are you talking about? All right, let's read the blog post. You guys want to read the blog post? Let's check out what they got more details in the blog post. Let's check it out. Welcome, PlayStation 5 Pro, the most visually impressive game. Actually, I like going side by side with these because then I can zoom in and give you guys better text size. Here we go. Over the last 4 years since the launch of the PS5, we've worked hard to continuously evolve the console experience and deliver the great games our players expect from us. Today, I'm incredibly proud to announce the next step in the evolution. Okay, that's fluff. We developed the PS5 Pro with deeply engaged players and creators in mind, as many have asked for a console that runs even higher fidelity graphics and smoother frame rates at 60 frames per second. We achieved this on the PS5 Pro with several key performance features. Upgraded GPU. We're upgrading the GPU that has 67% more compute units than the current PS5 console and 28% faster memory. Overall, this enables up to 45% faster rendering for gameplay, making the experience much smoother. Advanced ray tracing. We've added even more powerful ray tracing that provides more dynamic reflection and refraction of light. This allows the rays to be cast at double and at times triple the speeds of the current PS5 console. AI-driven upscaling. We're also introducing PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution and AI-driven upscaling that uses a machine learning-based technology to provide super sharp image clarity by adding an extraordinary amount of detail. PS5 Pro provides gamers with amazing graphics at high frame rates. You can hear Mark Cerny, lead architect for PS5 Pro, discuss the key innovations from PS5 Pro in the following video presentation. The presentation is a deep dive. Okay, great. Other enhancements include PS5 Pro Game Boost, which can apply to more than 8,500 backwards compatible PS4 games playable on the PS5 Pro. This feature may stabilize or improve the performance of supported PS4 and PS5 games, so it doesn't just do it for the backwards compatible PS4 games. Enhanced image quality for PS4 games is also available to improve the resolution on select PS4 games. PS5 Pro will also launch with the latest wireless technology, Wi-Fi 7, in territories supporting the standard. VRR and 8K gaming are also supported. 8K on the box. I'm just kidding. Guys, keep smashing the like button. Let's try to get 1,000 likes on this stream, and let's try to get to 200 members, and then I'll gift a 20 bomb that I owe you. It's humbling to see how many game creators have embraced the latest technology from PS5 Pro, and several games will be patched with free software updates for gamers to take advantage of the PS5 Pro features. These games can be identified with the PS5 Pro Enhanced label within their title. Some games you can look forward to include blockbuster hits from PlayStation Studios and our third-party partners, such as Alan Wake 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Demon's Souls, Dragon's Dogma 2. I wondered if the dragon was from Dragon's Dogma 2. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Gran Turismo 7, Hogwarts Legacy, Horizon Forbidden West, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, The Crew Motorfest, The First Descendant, and The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, and more. So at launch, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games that will be PS5 Pro enhanced at launch. We kept a look at the PS5 Pro consistent with the overall PS5 family of products. You'll notice the height is the same size as the original PS5 and the width is the same size as the current PS5 model to accommodate higher performance specs. Players can add an Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive or swap out console covers when they become available. Okay. So yeah, you can add the disk drive to the side. So it's the same disk drive as now. So it will not ship. It doesn't look like there's going to be an option to get the disk drive. Wait. Oh, the height is the same as the original PS5. So you can see here in this image, it is going to be a little bit taller than the newer, slimmer model that they made of the PS5. So it's slightly taller. It's the same. Well, I have the original PS5s. So I have a disc version and a digital version. So it'll be the same height as the ones I already have. The PS5 Pro fits perfectly within the PS5 family of products and is compatible with the PS5 accessories currently available, including PSVR 2, PlayStation Portal, DualSense Edge, Access Controller, Pulse Elite, and Pulse Explorer. Yeah, remember when the fan fiction copium huffing people were saying that it wasn't going to be compatible with these things? Yeah, stop following these people and stop giving them engagement. The user interface and network services will also remain the same as the PS5. The PS5 Pro console will be available this holiday at a manufacturer-suggested retail price of $700 US. It will include 2 terabyte SSD. What's the current PS5 ship with? PS5 standard SSD size. What is it? Is it 1? What's the current one ship with out of the box? Less than 1 terabyte, right? 825 gig is actually usable. So looks like you're going to basically ship with twice the storage because you're not going to get all 2 terabytes. Like right now they ship with 1 terabyte and you can't use all of it. So they've doubled storage. PS5 Pro is available as a disc-less console with the option to purchase the currently available disc drive for PS5 separately. Okay, it will launch on November the 7th and will be available at participating retailers and directly from PlayStation Direct to PlayStation.com. Pre-orders begin on September the 26th. So there you go. Pre-orders go live September 26th, which, interestingly enough, Tokyo Game Show starts on September the 26th. That's an interesting day to start taking pre-orders for that. I wonder if they're going to have a pushed Tokyo Game Show of maybe some first-party games that aren't out yet that are going to, be PS5 Pro enhanced. We'll see. I'm hoping for Ghost of Tsushima too. Our PS5 journey would not be possible without the millions of players that have supported us through the years and have shared with their love of gaming, whichever console option players choose. Whether it's the PS5 or the PS5 Pro, we wish to bring everyone the very best gaming experience that fits their needs. So I gotta say, this is quite literally, let me refresh this premiere and then let it run from the beginning again. And it's a Thursday. I wonder if they're going to kick off Tokyo Game Show with a State of Play. Maybe they're going to do a State of Play at Tokyo Game Show or something. I don't know. So 13 games, both a mix of first party and third party. 13 games being PS5 Pro enhanced at launch. That's not bad. I hope they actually have some new releases coming and some announcements, like I said, with like Ghost of Tsushima 2. That's what I'm hoping. A $5 super chat tip from Vote Naturalized says, they are saying September 26th. Imagine if they start tomorrow, just like I did it with the PS5, if you recall, and prepare for the worst part, scalpers. No, I don't think they're going to do like a surprise pre-order. I don't think they're going to do that. Guys, thank you for such an incredible day on the channel. We're going to keep talking and keep vibing and keep, kind of debriefing on the announcement. Kind of curious where you guys are. That's too expensive. It being too expensive is a matter of being subjective, right? Maybe at $700, maybe that is their goal, is that they want it to be a high premium item. Maybe that'll help with supply and demand. Maybe that will help with scalping. I don't know. I mean, whether or not something is too expensive is not determined by our opinion. It's determined by whether or not the market bears it. Right? If it comes out at $700 and it instantly sells out, then it wasn't too expensive. They made the right choice. They made the most money possible. Like, as a business, them selling a product and maximizing the amount of profit, or in this case, they're obviously fighting against loss as well. Some of their production costs in Japan have been very, very difficult because of the yen continuing to drop in value. Do you think we'll have scalper problem again? I actually don't know. I actually don't know if there'll be a scalper problem, because at $700, you got to think a scalper is going to scalp it and then try to turn around and sell it for $800, $750 or $800. Scalpers might struggle to move them at that price point, But can it run Wukong? Thank you for the $2 super chat tip. Did I miss any super chats? Let me double check. Thank you, Silent Spartan, for the $2 super chat. Says it comes with a 2 terabyte hard drive. Thank you for the membership renewal victory for 14 months. I know people who scalp the base PS5s for $700-800. For enthusiasts, that's definitely an instant buy. I think that's actually good input. The fact that scalpers were able to sell the standard PS5 for that much money means people will buy this at $700. If you're a betting man, you bet the scalpers will get them. I hope if the scalpers get them, they make no money. I loathe scalpers. I think they're scum. I hope they make no money. Between the upgrades, the Wi-Fi 7, and the 2 terabyte hard drive, the price makes sense to me, says Eugene. I'm in the market for a new PS5 anyways, so this is an easy buy. Yeah, what's the general consensus from chat? Are you guys buying this, or is the price turning you away? I'm actually curious about that. A lot of you guys were all in on this, and you said yesterday that if it was $700, that'd be too much. I agreed with you guys. I thought $600 was the sweet spot. I highly doubt this will sell well. A lot of people thought that the PlayStation Portal wouldn't sell well, and it sold well. I think this thing's going to sell just fine. Buying, easy skip. Yes, it will. Buying, yes, no, buy, I will. Yes, buy, no. I would say chat's 50-50. About half of you are saying no, and about half of you are saying that you'll buy it. It's about 50-50. Yes, buying. Hard pass, buy, I'll pass by, way too expensive, I'm in, I'm rich. 700 digital causes some pause, probably going to hold off. Caffeinated and ready for the day. 20 months from evidence, PC quality on a console, amazing. Day one for me, thank you. True Witty with a $2 super chat. Day one being sold in retail stores. If it's being sold in stores, thank you so much for $2 super chat. Guys, keep smashing that like button. We're so close to 900 likes. There's over 3,000 people still here. Let's hit that 1,000 like milestone. You guys are crushing it. Guys, this is a perfect opportunity to gift members. We got a bunch of people that are still here. They're still hanging. They're still talking. We're still debriefing. All right, let's have a huge day. There's a member renewal from Ravenous. It's a member plus 25 months. Says too expensive for me. I'll wait for the Switch 2. Does have me excited for what they'll do with the PS6. Thank you so much. That bumps the line to 178. And a £5 super chat says PlayStation just turned Apple. That's not a $700 box. Thank you for the 5 and for the 2. Poll the chat. Yeah, we could do a poll. Let's hear. Start a poll. Will you buy the PS5 Pro? Yes or No. Donald Johnson with the $5 super chat tip says, Seed said it was going to be 700 and people were a-holes to him about it. Personally, it's a skip for me. Thank you for the $5 super chat. There's the poll at the top of the chat. Will you be buying a PS5 Pro? Yes or no? Simple question. Read the blog that PlayStation posted. We already did that. At the moment, I say no, but if a lot of new games take advantage of the Pro, then it's a must-buy for me. I think the relationship with Hogwarts Legacy was a smart play. That's a really popular game to be able to trot out there. It's a really, really smart play to work with the makers of Hogwarts. Can you imagine the Hogwarts sequel? I mean, it's a smart play. A very smart play. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will support PS5 Pro Enhanced, which was announced today. Yeah, what about Final Fantasy 16, though? Delta Boss with a $5 super chat says, 700 with the extra terabyte, still cheaper than building a PC or upgrading. Worth it. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Right now, as I said, I told you guys I thought the chat was 50-50. Look at that poll right down the middle. Almost 1,000 votes, and it's right down the middle, 50-50. I would say, sampling this audience and getting a 50-50, PlayStation's probably going to have no problem selling this thing. I think it'll sell just fine. You know? They've lost their minds. Half the people here that are taking the poll are willing to buy it. I would say demand for the product's going to be just fine. We are a sampling of the most committed gamers, the most plugged in gamers, and half the people here are like, yeah, I'll buy it. I would say that's a really good ratio. If like 10% of the people here said that they would buy it, I would say, ooh, maybe they went a little too high. You know? When 50% say buy, that's huge support. That's what I'm saying. This is a pretty engaged player base that's hanging out here. Alejandro with a $5 super chat tip says, when I buy, when I can, I will definitely buy it. The hardware is great. I also just like how it looks. Eugene says that a good Wi-Fi 7 card is $50. A good 2 terabyte NVMe is easily $150. That's $200 in tech alone. The $700 makes sense. Yeah. I still didn't think it was going to be that high. A 14 ZAR, I'm not sure what that is. Thank you so much. Sold my PS5. I quit gaming. This might be a buy. How much is the disc drive? $80. So you're spending almost $800 if you want this thing with a disc drive. That's freaking crazy. That's steep. You know? That is steep. Feels like it's for people that don't like fidelity and or they wish that they could get more graphics and performance. Did you the thing that actually really surprised me but also made me feel really good was when he said they're noticing 3/4 of the time people are choosing performance mode. That to me is huge. That means those of us that have been pushing for frames per second, we're winning. We're winning the fight. This is why these games and people are like, oh, it doesn't matter if it launches at 30. People don't seem to care. No, they care. That's why these games are adding 60 FPS in later, because people want it. If 3/4 of the users are choosing performance mode, you better have a performance mode. You better have 60 FPS. This is so related to our conversation yesterday about the Xbox Series S. The gaming community is moving in that direction, and I celebrate that because that's my perspective. That's my desire is 60 FPS. A 6 bot from SJ Niao says price makes sense, but 1 terabyte and 600 will be better. I don't agree. When has gaming ever been cheap? Says Sierra U with a $5 super chat tip. I don't understand the complaints. And Hex with a $5 super chat says, I was all in at first, but the price point made me decide I will not buy day one, but it will be a buy. 1,000 Canadian. Whoo-wee. That's steep. 3/4 of the users have a PS4 as well. That's not true. No. The monthly active user base indicates that roughly half of their users are still on PS4, not 3/4. But, whatever you got to tell yourself. What's a disk drive do? It lets you put a disc in and play a game or watch a movie. Vedger with 16 months on a membership says if you're going to jump into the PS5 Pro, you have no use of your regular PS5. That's still worth money against your PS5 Pro. Don't understand the complaints. 15 months from Enjoy says $700 is very steep. I think it's very worth it, but I don't know if it's needed for an OG PS5 user like me. And then Freddie Jackson, guys, if upgrade those memberships, those standard memberships, upgrade those to a Member Plus so that way you can hit the total like Freddie Jackson is doing. He renewed his and his is a Member Plus. Good morning, Lono. Unfortunately, I can't pay $1,000 Canadian for it, but if I could trade in my PS5 for $200 to $300, I may be getting it. You should be able to get trade-in value on it at like a GameStop or something. Boris with a 2-month renewal, €1 equals $1.10. So in Europe, 880, no drive, no stand. That's steep. The Japanese price is 119,000 yen, which is $841. Yeah, because the yen has been severely devalued. Like, do people not understand that? Like, if you're not happy about how much it costs in your country, that's that's your currency values problem, That's not PlayStation's problem. What are they supposed to do? Shoulder the loss because your currency sucks? Like, get real. What do you expect these companies to do? No, that's fine. We'll lose money on our tech and our hardware in your country because your currency stinks. Sure. Like, if your currency's weak against the dollar, sorry. Like, there's nothing that these tech companies can do about that. David with a 2-spot. Will the Pro have an optical port? I don't know. Is Lono talking crap on currencies? No, I'm just saying that's the reality. If your currency is weak against the dollar, that's nothing that these companies can do anything about. What? A 6-spot from Belphegor. Luckily, I'm selling part of my property for $40,000, so I have enough money to spare. Count me in day one, says Belphegor. They want their console inside a Fire Stick. Listen, if you don't want to pay top dollar, then don't pay top dollar. Wait for a sale. Buy a PS5. I don't know. Cloud game. Who knows? Yes, it does have an optical port. Guys, thank you so much. 1,000 likes on the video. What a day. What a day for the channel as we screen towards 50,000 subscribers. Thank you for hitting subscribe. Thank you for hitting like. We are 21 members away from the 200 on the goal. So you guys want to average about 100 members a day for that weekly goal. So keep that going. Keep those renewals going. I'll owe you guys a 20 bomb if we can hit that. And thank you guys so much for contributing to the chat and the super chats and the poll. Big Fest for 30 months on a membership says I recently upgraded my PC to 5700 and the 7800, and I still plan to get a PS5 Pro for GTA 6 alone because we all know GTA 6 on PC is a ways out. Thank you for that renewal. Again, if you guys are on a standard membership, always consider upgrading to Member Plus. It's only $1 more, and it empowers us to make more content. I do extra content for Member Plus and above. Jeremy Norris with a $5 super chat. I think it's funny that when it comes to people's phones, they'll drop 900 every 2 to 3 years. PS5 released almost 5 years ago. 700 is the just. PlayStation Direct search. Is it available yet? I don't think it's going to be available yet. No. They've got refurbished. PlayStation 5 refurbished. Maybe they're going to be able to buy them. And a VIP from J-Dog says, Big Day, keep up the good work, Lono. PS5 Pro is a buy. He just bumped the line to 180. We'll see if any of the big boys have been waiting in the wings to drop a 20 bomb and round us out. And then there's a single gifted from J-Dog, and he makes that 20 bomb an Agents of Chaos if it happens. Thank you so much, J-Dog. And a €6 super chat from server error. I don't understand the complaints. It's not like the OG PS5's not there. We just get no compromise. GPU's weaker than this, costs almost $700 alone. The OG suspect with a $5 super chat says nothing, just $5. Thank you so much. That's very kind. And then Suspect Psychedelic Asylum with a month of membership. I hope it converts a lot of PS4 users, and I have a PS5, and I'm buying the Pro to do a lot of New Game Plus runs to experience the games how I originally wanted to. Thank you so much. Yeah, I really hope that Final Fantasy 16 can do something about the performance. I really do. Juan Star with 12 months says Sony doesn't want to have the PS5 Pro as a loss leader. They have a PS5 for that, and then the PS5 Slim is not a loss leader anymore. Yeah, they don't seem to be. They don't seem to want to do that. The blog updated. In what way? What do they add? Well, I'm not seeing anything new here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything new. Thank you so much, Juan Star, for 12 months of memberships. And Victory with the $10 super chat says many scalpers sold a healthy amount of base PS5s for $700-800. I think the optional upgrade will definitely sell out. This is definitely worth the $700. Yeah, somebody brought that up earlier. That's a good point, Victory. You cannot get a decent PC for $800. My 4070 Super costs 630 pounds. In the article posted by Barrier, this person is saying here, I'm not saying this, is somebody else saying this. Sitting in front of an 80-inch TV playing Gran Turismo 7 is an immersive experience. It's even more realistic in 8K resolution. I'm not a good driver, but that's partly because I'm stunned by the clarity of the vistas in front of me. I'm also wowed by the new 4K ray tracing mode that casts car reflections on other racers. It feels almost like I'm in a VR without the headset. The frick? So there are articles coming out. People have touched this thing. They've played with it. Pause. Yeah, let's look at the poll here. Almost 3,000 people have voted on the poll. Will you buy a PS5 Pro? 45% have said yes. 55% have said no. I think that's a good divide. I'm telling you, I think this thing is going to sell just fine. I said the same thing about the PlayStation Portal. I said, I bet you it's hard to get your hands on a PlayStation Portal, and I was right. And all the naysayers and all the, that's DOA, that's stupid. I mean, what do they say after it sold like crazy? A $5 super chat from Sir Gabby. Just realized I think I need to upgrade my TV for this. Any recommendations? I think Samsung has a really good lineup of TVs typically. I don't know of a particular model that you should try to get, but Samsung is quality. I have a very nice Samsung that the community here sent me for Father's Day 3 years ago. 1,000 yen from Calvin. I own a PC and input latency is so smooth and so reactive to any movement for controller mouse. I hope the PS5 Pro can offer better input latency. That's what matters to me. Pre-orders will open on September the 26th, which is the first day of Tokyo Game Show. It is the first day of Tokyo Game Show. I think this might end up being one of our most watched live streams that I've ever done. I think the Xbox podcast, didn't we hit like 8,000 viewers though? I think that might be the most popular one we've ever done. This is going to be the second most watched live stream that I've ever done underneath First Descendants Day 1 gameplay. Thank you guys for, that's just such a nice variety of big streams. First Descendant, then this. Then our third most watched will be the Xbox podcast, then Modern Warfare, then Elden Ring. I mean, that's a really diverse offering of big videos. That's amazing. That's so cool to see. The support that you guys have given this channel over the last 3 years, rebuilding and doing a live show here. Lono, look at the IGN poll. What did they do? A poll on Twitter? Let's see. IGN. Will you buy the PS5 Pro? 83% said no and 17% said yes. Okay, did anybody else do a poll? Because we know that we know where their biases lie. I don't know if I would just use IGN. Does anybody else have polls out there on Twitter? Like, has Keeley done one? Yeah, we need Keeley to do one. Here, I'll do one. I will do a poll. Let's see what I get, what results I get. At $700, will you be buying the PS5 Pro? I wouldn't trust a Twitter poll. Yeah, I mean, Twitter definitely tends to be more negative and more antagonistic towards corporations, so that does kind of track, but I do think that is kind of low. No way, 700 pounds is a gaming rig? It is? Where? You're building a gaming rig for 700 bucks? It's not a console that's going to have a massive install base? Well, I do think that's something we need to come back to, guys. When I say I think it's going to be selling well, I mean they're going to sell the units that they make. But I also think the vast majority of their user base will still be on the standard PS5. This will never be the majority of their install base. So when I say that I think it's going to sell well, I think it will. I think that they will sell the units that they make. But I don't think this is going to become their main core audience. I think their main core audience, the vast majority of their audience, will remain on the standard PlayStation 5. Thank you guys again for all of the subscriptions today. I greatly appreciate it. Just an absolute insane turnout today. I just keep looping the video and we just keep talking and debriefing. So thanks so much for being here and continuing to hang out. Just incredible. I'm just here for the cope. What do you mean? Who's coping? Games confirmed to have PS5 Pro support. Yeah, it's like 13 games at launch. That's pretty good. I think they need some new games, though. I think they need to bring it at Tokyo Game Show. I think it's time. I think it's time to get a Ghost of Tsushima 2 announcement going. You know? You can get a gaming rig for $700, but it won't be high performance. The PS5 Pro will easily outperform a $700 rig. Yeah, I mean, can you build a PC for $700 and get the performance that they're saying you're going to get in Horizon Forbidden West? Like, can you go build a PC right now for $700 and get the level of graphical fidelity and 60 FPS out of Forbidden West port? I don't think that you can. The 4090 is selling out, says Silent Spartan. $5 super chat. The market for premium products is larger than most realize. Yes, but not brand new. Even if you go refurbished, if you play on GeForce Now. J Stubbs. Yeah, if you play on GeForce Now. Excuse me. Not with new parts. I don't even know if with refurbished you could build a PC. I don't know. $700. That's just so low when you're trying to build like a premium PC. PC peripherals are expensive, man. GeForce Now is great. Jez Corden asking, does Xbox need to respond? I don't think Xbox has any interest in responding to this. Asus ROG has a rig at Walmart with a 4060 that's been marked down to $950. That seems like a pretty good deal. It's like a pretty good deal. I wonder if that rig is any good. Great point. Cheap gamers isn't what the market's catered to. It never has been. Go back to the dawn of Nintendo. Ray, I forgot to thank you for 19 months of memberships. Ray says, cost combined with no disk drive is a tough buy. I'm excited to buy this, but it's a definite wait. I have 40 disc games. Ugh, yeah, that's a steep. It is, I would say that. It's a steep ask for anybody who has a PS5 with the disk drive. Right? Paul DM'd me and said the 4090 selling out does not change the fact that under 1% of gamers have one.
Yeah, I was going to say that I feel like the PS5 Pro is going to be in a similar place, right? It'll sell out, but it won't make up the vast majority of PS5 users. Like, 4090 selling out is great, but they're not they're the smallest percentage of PC gamers out there. The no disk drive thing is annoying, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's the toughest. That's the consumer that's going to be taking the brunt of cost here is people that have invested in a physical PlayStation 5 library. I've not done that. I've been only digital for a long time. I started going all digital on my Xbox before I even got into the Xbox Series X. I just thought I just preferred it. Things you can buy with $700. 1 PlayStation 5 Pro, 2 Lego Deku trees, 233 copies of Play Nice through Icefall and Future Blizzard Entertainment, 700 Arizona Iced Teas, 43% of GeForce RTX 4090. Tom Henderson replies, ironically, you can buy an aggregate. 1 PlayStation 5, 1 Lego Deku Tree, 1 copy of Play Nice, 1 Arizona Iced Tea, and 0.1% of a GeForce RTX 4090. I think they're trying to give people perspective. Yo, Grady renews their VIP and bumps us to 182 members. Come on, boys. We got to hit 200 members today. 18 months from Grady says, this is a definite pre-order for me. Not losing fidelity to maintain 60 FPS is a great selling point. I feel the same way, Grady. I feel the exact same way. And a €6 super chat says, a 4060 Ti Super setup is around $1,500, and that cannot run Horizon Forbidden West at 4K 60. It struggles at 1440 60. Thank you for the super chat. %1 of the world's population is like 90 million people. It doesn't matter if you can't build a PC that matches this for $700. Consoles are meant to be affordable for the average gamer. $700 is just too high for a price. And a 20 bomb from Michael B. He takes us all the way there with one swing and stroke of the pen. Thank you so much, Michael B. I now owe you guys a 20 bomb. And Belphegor stacks on top and takes us to 207. Huge jump in the member count. If you guys get a gifted member from the very generous Michael and Belphegor, be sure to say thank you and consider upgrading to Member Plus for $1. And then you get access to all of the extra content that we do. We do extra and over and above content for those at Member Plus and VIP. If you did get a gifted member, climb into our Discord and enjoy all that extra content. Lord Horg with a 2-spot says, I just bought a disk drive. They're going to sell out. Yeah, if you buy the disk drive now, you'll have it and you'll be ready. That's true. Like if you're trying to kind of budget this out, buy the disk drive now, and then, after pre-orders open, wait a little bit, save a little bit, and then buy the console. Consoles are more user-friendly. Let me drop the 20 bomb that I now owe you guys. Let's get that out of the way. Thank you guys so much for the amazing generosity that you bring to the channel every day, every week. We have such a unique community here. So incredibly generous. Always growing. Always grinding. Appreciate it very, very much. Hang on a second. Five spot from Wired Rope says, this is why people really need to listen to Digital Foundry. Both consoles aren't running native res. It's either dynamic or upscaled compared to native real on PC. Yeah, but a lot of games are now utilizing DLSS or FSR on PC to achieve that anyway. What do you mean? They are using forms of machine learning and upscaling. CNET PS5 Pro hands-on exclusive
PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution will work on PSVR 2 games in the future. Plan 40 to 50 games with PS5 Pro upgrades at launch, focusing on 4K 60 upgrades along with graphics boosts. The PS5 Pro could spark a range of extra gaming modes. Cerny has seen games with 3 different PS5 Pro modes. Over 25% of PS5 owners own 120 FPS capable TVs. Around 1 in 10 players have variable refresh rate TVs. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in particular popped compared to the fuzzier graphics on the existing PS5 version. Everything was sharper and still 60 FPS smooth. It felt like putting new glasses on. Let's read this CNET article. You guys want to check this out? Gran Turismo 7 includes 8K mode and a 4K mode with ray tracing. Remember when I said the PS5 Pro would be market disruptive? Devs are going to gobble this up, dude. Devs are going to gobble this up. Let's check out this CNET article. Let's check it out. Whoops, here we go. In a CNET exclusive, I visited Sony's PlayStation headquarters to play the all-new PS5 Pro and ask Sony executives what makes this mid-cycle upgrade different. All right, let's give you guys a little bit more. There we go. Sitting in front of an 80-inch TV playing Gran Turismo is an immersive experience. It's even more realistic in 8K resolution. I'm not a good driver, but that's partly because I'm stunned by the clarity of the vistas in front of me. I'm also wowed by a new 4K ray tracing mode that casts car reflections on other cars, on other racers. It feels almost like I'm in a VR. Without the headset. That's what we read earlier. I'm at Sony's San Mateo PlayStation headquarters in a room full of TVs, all running demos of familiar games such as Ratchet and Clank and Spider-Man 2. They're playing on the new PlayStation 5 Pro arriving November the 7th at $700. Mark Cerny, Sony's lead PlayStation systems architect, guides me around the demos, pointing out the Pro upgrades compared to the standard PS5 on a side-by-side monitor. As I jump back and forth, I can see the difference. Everything is crisper, more fluid, or both. I'd prefer to play on the PS5 Pro, but with a non-Pro PS5 available for $500 today and likely less during the upcoming holiday sales, I don't know if the sometimes subtle upgrades will be worth the price for many. The PS5 Pro is not the PlayStation 6, which likely won't be released for another 3 or 4 years, and it isn't for everyone. It's a big graphically boosted piece of hardware that can keep up with the ever-changing PCs, and in some ways, maybe exceed them. Oh no, look out, the PC Master Race boys are going to storm the castle and tell you that they can build a PC that's stronger than every single console in existence for $400 and postage stamps from their grandma's collection. Let's see here. What happened here? Oh, my exclusive PlayStation Pro demo, what $700 gets you and why it matters. What happened with this video? I can't see the text. What the frick did you guys do? I can't see the text, man. Hang on. There's like a sentence behind the video. What the frick did you guys do to your formatting? All right, I got to go full screen to get the formatting to not screw up. The PS5 Pro is all about making big TV gaming a happier experience. A souped-up GPU promises more ray tracing and fluid 4K and 60 frames per second in gaming across the board for games to get Pro upgraded and automatic AI upscaling for the rest of the PlayStation library. Oh, and expect a lot more ray tracing, a fancy graphical technique to simulate light. Expect games to get Pro upgraded performance extras. Sony says about 40 to 50 games will get patches when the system launches in November. Here, that's better. I played half a dozen games on the PS5 Pro and spoke with Cerny and Hideaki Nishino, CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment's Platform Business Group. We talked about what the upgrade means for PlayStation's gaming future and what to expect next. Similar in size with turbo-style vents. I was shocked that the PS5 Pro wasn't a hulking beast. The console's contours are nearly the same as the original PS5, and it's actually smaller. Meanwhile, the slim PS5 released last year is definitely smaller than the Pro, but the difference in size isn't massive. The biggest external differences teased by Sony's 30th anniversary logo are the diagonal black ribbed vents across the center. These mean the Pro is incompatible with existing PS5 console covers. The back also has an extra USB-C port instead of a USB-A, but the PS5 Pro should slot into similar shelving to your older PS5, unlike the chunkier PS4 Pro released in 2016. And of course, you can mount the Pro vertically and with the included base if you prefer. How would you grade? Keeley saying, how would people grade the presentation? Twitter big mad. Twitter big mad, dude. Oh, they all gave it, the majority gave it a D. Oh, that's funny. The Pro comes with the same DualSense controller as the PS5, no upgrades there. Oh, people were saying it came with an upgraded DualSense, but it doesn't. The Pro doesn't have an optical disk drive, though. Instead, there's a larger 2 terabyte solid state drive, plus the same support for expanded M2 SSDs. You can attach an optical drive separately, though, the same ones that work on the new design PS5 models. You could detach one of those or buy a new one. Not having an included optical drive standard feels like a statement that downloadable games is now the standard, and the Pro's bumped Wi-Fi 7 support should make for faster downloads if your router supports it. What are you not plugging in directly for if you want faster downloads? Everything the PS5 Pro offers is about graphics. The CPU is the same as the PS5, and so so is the SSD speed. The GPU, meanwhile, is 67% more computing cores, according to Sony, with 28% faster RAM and 45% faster rendering. There are 3 big initial upgrades Sony specifically is pushing for. We know this. An AI-assisted upscaling mode called the PSSR works across the whole game library without any need for a patch, adding in details to upscale to 4K. I didn't see this demonstrated, but the feature should help enhance older games if you have a 4K TV. It'll also work on PSVR 2 games in the future, Cerny has said. The planned 40 to 50 games to get the PS5 Pro upgrades at the hardware's November 7th launch will focus on 4K and 60 upgrades across the board, but also have a laundry list of other graphics boosts, including new volumetric lighting and effects, richer graphics, and more on-screen background characters, modes that can ramp up to 120 FPS or 8K gaming. I played Gran Turismo 7 in 8K mode and the 4K mode that added all sorts of extra ray tracing effects, much like PC games. Cerny said the Pro could spark a range of extra gaming modes. And a 20 bomb from MASH takes us up to 227. I now owe you guys 5 more members. Keep it going, boys. We got one of the big boys in chat. He gifted a 20. I gifted a 20. And Michael B gifted a 20. Huge day for the channel. Love you guys and appreciate the support that you give me every single day. TVs with VRR that can range from 40 to 120 are going to work with the PS5 Pro, Cerny adds, because games will automatically get frame rate improvements without an upgraded patch. But dedicated 120 FPS modes will come too. Cerny said over 25% of PS5 owners own 120 FPS capable TVs, with around 1 in 10 players having VRR TVs. Games in 8K is a fun extra, but it's available to an even smaller subset of existing PS5 gamers since 8K TVs are even less common. Here Cerny says, I've already seen games with 3 different PS5 Pro modes. As time goes by, particularly for games that are launching after the hardware releases, we'll increasingly see a more nuanced approach where the focus is less on resolution and more about higher image quality through a variety of strategies. Gosh, I love this. This is exactly what I want. I do not want this heavy focus on just boost the resolution. Like, you've got to take a more nuanced approach so we get consistent performance. Rafael Mateo with a $5 super chat tip says, I don't find it expensive if you have a job. It compares to a 3K PC that'll last 3 to 4 years, and games will be super optimized for it, unlike PCs. Thank you so much. And a single gifted comes in from Stone Spire. I know what Stone Spire is going to do. He's going to walk this all the way to 230 members. He's going to do 2 more singles. He wants to see somebody drop a 20 bomb to 250 members. Somebody slam dunk this. He's laying it up perfectly. Thank you so much, Stone Spire. I love the consistent support that you bring to this channel. There's another single, and there's another single taking us to 230. PS5 Pro uses the new advanced ray tracing feature sets that AMD created as the next step in their roadmap architecture, Cerny told me. But if you look around, there are no other AMD GPUs that use it yet. We motivated the development, and I'm very happy we did so. The response from the developers has been extraordinarily great. Really? And a 10 bomb from Mash. Mash is asking for a tag team partner as he bumps the line to 240. He says, somebody take the remaining 10. Let's see it. PS5 Pro skulls. Yeah, I think the price is going to be what everybody focuses on. I think people are going to put it on their thumbnails. All the salt farmers and rage baiters, I think they're going to focus on price. I want to reread this though. There's a new advanced ray tracing feature that AMD created, okay? If you look around, Cerny says there are no AMD GPUs that use it yet. We motivated the development, and I'm very happy we did so. The response from the developers has been extraordinarily great. I told you, I said, listen to me. I said that the PS5 Pro would be market disruptive. I said Cerny went to the developers and said, what do you need? They quite literally motivated the development of brand new ray tracing technology feature sets, and developers seemingly love it. A 10 bomb from Cardock Ren lands the plane. We're halfway to the weekly goal already, and it's only Tuesday. Thank you guys so much. I now owe you a 10 bomb. Like, this right here is huge. The PlayStation 5 Pro has impacted the market already. A brand new advanced ray tracing feature set from AMD, and devs think that it's great. They think it's extraordinarily great. That's huge, dude. You can moan and maul and seethe all you want about the price. This thing is going to have an impact. It already is having an impact. That's a big deal. The disk drive has sold out. Oh, scalpers are already buying up the drives. That's weird. Why would they buy up the drive? Oh, because it doesn't have one. Do you know that the euro is currently more valuable than the USD? It's sending us a pretty strong message. Wait, it is more expensive in euro, and euro's got a higher value against the dollar? Somebody said USD is more valuable than the euro right now. USD versus euro value. 1 United States dollar equals 91 cents euros. So that guy is wrong. It's weaker against the dollar by 9 cents. So, no. Hey, Clicks upgraded to Member Plus. Listen, you can double dip. Clicks just got a gifted member, but then upgraded to Member Plus. It adds to the count. Euro is stronger than the dollar? Why is Google saying the opposite? Google's saying the exact opposite. They're saying that the dollar is stronger against the euro. Who's right? Oh, less euros means more dollars. Dude, I'm freaking stupid. I read that backwards. I read that backwards. I'm an idiot. Okay, so the euro is stronger. Well, then, yeah, that guy's criticism is valid then. Why are they charging more money in Europe for the device? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, the bigger number equals weaker. Sorry, I read it backwards.
No, his criticism makes sense. Why are they selling it more? Does anybody know? Does PlayStation typically do that? Do they typically charge more in Europe for their stuff? If the euro's 10% stronger than the dollar, why wouldn't they have it be at the same price? Taxes are already included in the euro price. Sales tax is included in Europe. Oh. Well, then take that up with your frickin' government. That has nothing to do with Sony. $24% VAT tax. Yeah, these people, like, listen, I'm not an economist. I got the frickin' value of the currencies backwards and got confused. I'm not an expert in this field. But if your government is charging VAT taxes and including taxes in the cost of the tech, dude, that's a take that up with the government. You can't say you pay $200 in tax. No, I don't, because my government's not charging me that much. How much is your government charging for something like that to come into the country? Belfagor with the 6 spot says, to be clear, in the EU, taxes are included. In the US, they are not. PSSR is just FSR, but Sony made their own fork version, so they don't have to worry. AMD is pushing updates to FSR and messing with their dev support. Thank you, Wired Rope, for the $5 super chat. Like, if you're paying that much in taxes and I'm paying less in taxes, okay, does Sony dictate sales taxes in the United States? Go buy something in Hawaii. It's like twice the sales tax that I pay in Kentucky. Like, should Hawaiians start, pissing and moaning because they got to spend more money to get a PS5 Pro? What the frick are we even talking about here? I mean, if Sony's gouging Europe, then I guess we could have a conversation about that. But it sounds a lot more complex and nuanced than that. $772 in America and translates to 700 euro. So we have to, okay, so yeah, again, no, yeah, I read it backwards. When I went to Google, I thought the currency that was lower was weak against the dollar. I just read it backwards. Had no idea tax was not included in US prices. Yeah, no, it's not, especially considering sales tax fluctuates depending on the state that you're in. Sales tax in Kentucky, I believe, is 6%. And then in Hawaii, I believe it's like 11% or something like that. So whenever you're buying items in Hawaii, like, the sales tax is higher. But then grocery is not taxed. So we like when we sell certain items, if it's like a food or a grocery item, there's no sales tax on that. It's not anymore. What's the sales tax in Hawaii? Hawaii does not have a sales tax? What? Since when? I remember people complaining about that. They said that it made it hard to live there. When did they change that? I remember that being a huge dialogue about the people that lived in Hawaii because it basically became a tourist trap. It was like living there became untenable because the sales tax was absurd. When did they lower it? Oh, Texas is over 8%? Sales tax or income tax? When did they change that? I swear that was a huge conversation a couple of years ago, that like living in Hawaii was difficult because of the sales tax. I swore it was like 11%. When was Hawaii sales tax lowered? I swore it was as much higher in Hawaii for a long time.
Hawaii's 4.5. Yeah, that's lower than Kentucky. I don't think it's always been that way. You're 6% in Pennsylvania? Am I thinking of I swore that was Hawaii. I misspoke. I don't know. I thought there was a huge debate about that. Like, the citizens of Hawaii were basically like, this has to change. Like, you basically make it really difficult for us to live here because the sales tax is so inflated because of tourism. Yeah, and then like what, like Florida like has no, what is it, like personal income tax or something like that? Or no state tax or something like that? Things just cost more? Maybe it's income tax? Maybe I got it backwards. I thought there was some type of a tax in Hawaii that like the citizens were very irritated by. I swore it was sales tax. A $5 super chat tip says, from Charles Hawk says, Colt Eastwood is blaming the FTC for the PS5 Pro price. What? Let's keep reading this article. Sorry. Cerny also sees the continuing overlap between console and PC gaming, including many of Sony's PlayStation 5 games already being available on PC as a bonus. It's specifically helping us with the PS5 Pro because the games on high-end PCs, so they can look the way they did for several $1,000 PCs and then pick and choose what they want to bring to the PS5 Pro. The 5 states with the lowest average combined rates are Alaska, Hawaii, Wyoming, Maine, and Wisconsin. Then what was the tax in Hawaii that was like heavily debated a couple of years ago? If it wasn't sales tax, it was something. I swore it was sales tax. Dodgeman Gaming with a $5 super chat. Will the Pro have an SSD slot? Yes, they've said that in this article. CNET got hands on with it. Yeah. Does everything cost more in Hawaii? Is it an import tax or something? Like, are the costs of the items really high because of an import tax? Is that what it was? It was something about, like, cost of living in Hawaii was ridiculous because of tourism, and I thought it was related to sales tax. Maybe it's something else, and maybe my memory got wires crossed. I remember there was a conversation about that. Is it the income tax? I always, every year I file my taxes, I have to pay Kentucky more than the Fed. It's ridiculous. Playing games on the Pro. I hopped around several TV stations in a single room, trying out snippets of PS5 games with early versions of Pro upgrades. Sony did not allow CNET's video team to directly capture footage from the Pro to show the advantages, perhaps because the game updates might still change before the November release. I got to play PS5 and PS5 Pro versions of 6 games side by side on 2 identical 4K TVs, and I also played a couple games on much larger 80-inch 8K TV. Okay, here we go. Many of the games I played, including Horizon, Last of Us, Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank, focused specifically on the new Best of Both Worlds 4K 60 FPS Pro mode felt to play. Answer: it feels great. Just running through the grass in The Last of Us or looking at waterfalls in Horizon was lovely. Spider-Man 2 and Ratchet just felt a lot better to play out, smoother, higher frame rates on a big canvas. That said, many of the upgrades were on the subtle side. Sometimes I had to stop and check side by side to appreciate the difference. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in particular popped compared to the fuzzier graphics on the existing PS5 version. Everything was sharper and still 60 FPS smooth. It felt like putting new glasses on. So yeah, this is where you're going to see the biggest differences. Like games that already look and run really well, like Ratchet and Spider-Man, it's probably going to be harder to notice. Like when Cerny zoomed in and was like, yeah, look at the detail at, items out in the distance. That's great. But it's going to be far more noticeable in games that get muddy and kind of blurry because they're doing everything they can to give you good performance. My demo of F124 showed me new ray tracing effects during a rainy race, which made the track and environment feel more photorealistic. Rain on the pavement reflected the car and the sky, and the glass and the walls near me showed the stands across the road. 129 from Hyde says Xbox releasing a new Series X with 2 terabyte SSD, no disk drive for 600, but 700 is too much for the PS5 Pro. That's a really good question, Hyde. Xbox releases a Series X with 2 terabyte, no disk drive, right? For $100 more, you can get the same storage, and it's a stronger console. It's the PS5 Pro. So, what? Yeah, doesn't the Series X have a drive in it, Hyde? I thought that new Series X had a drive in it. Will Broke Boy Lewis is saying it had a drive in it. So with the disk drive, you're looking at €920 for us here in Europe. This is interesting. The 3DO has been defeated. I forgot the 3DO even existed. What's 3DO? What is that? It does. People are saying no. People are saying yes. Let's look it up. Series X 2 terabyte. The Black Galaxy Edition. Yeah, it's got a disk drive right in the dadgum picture. What are you talking about? I can see the slot. Yeah. So basically, the Pro is $100 more than the Series X 2 terabyte. Oh, there is one without the drive. Oh, why would they sell one without the drive? Is it cheaper? "3DO Interactive Multiplayer," also referred to simply as the 3DO, is a home video game console developed by the 3DO company, conceived by entrepreneur EA. Founder Trip Hawkins. The 3DO is not a console manufactured by the company itself, but a set of specifications. Rich Raw with the 2-spot. CNET has an in-depth video out, I think. Yeah, here, I'll show you. Right here. $600. It's got a drive right on the front of it. The fastest, most powerful Xbox ever. Yeah, so the Pro is stronger, $100 more, and you don't get the drive. So, again, I think the people who have physical collections are going to be hurt the worst. I think they're going to be hurt the worst by it. Thought you were about to drop a hot take. About what? White digital Series X 1 terabytes, 450, no disk drive. Okay. Yeah, I think people who own a physical collection of PlayStation games are probably going to get hurt the worst by it. Because it's like they have to spend a pretty exorbitant amount of money to upgrade. Gran Turismo 7 was maybe the most stunning demo of all because it added 2 new modes. 8K gameplay on an 80-inch screen made me wonder how this could be used for sim racing setups with massive displays. Ray tracing finally added into GT7's gameplay in another 4K mode made crowded races with cars feel even more real. I was so hypnotized by looking at car finishes that I kept crashing. See, here's what I want to know. How are all the people that are going to try to spin this as too expensive and just buy a PC? I mean, how are you going to argue that? Can you get 8K gaming? Can you get 4K ray tracing? I mean, for this much money? I'm genuinely curious what sort of logical backflips people are going to do to drive that argument of like, well, yeah, just buy a PC. This seems insane to me. To have a gorgeous racing sim hitting 8K and 4K ray tracing. That seems nuts. Chris F. with 27 months and a VIP bumps the line to 252. Says, unless there's a very generous trade-in feature for the PS5, I'm not spending over $800. It's not worth it for me. My gaming hierarchy of needs goes gameplay, story, performance, then graphics. Nobody wants 8K gaming. I'm not saying people want 8K gaming. I'm saying 4K ray tracing. That's for that much money. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't think 8K is a selling point, but 4K ray tracing is. Do I look like I have 8K TV money? What about the people that do? What about the people that do? There are people that are going to have the best TVs, 8K TVs. They're going to see that and be like, what? 8K 80-inch? Dude, I've got to have that. I got to have the best thing. I want to play that game. I want to race. I love cars. Like, if you're on that game at 8K and squeeze it down to 4K, the super sampling is going to make it look absolutely stunning. The casuals don't care about 4K ray tracing. Who gives a frick about the casuals? Are the casuals buying a $700 mid-gen upgrade? I know I'm saying I ain't got that kind of money. Right. Who do you think they're marketing this to? They're not marketing it to people who are in, in between checks and are like, I don't think I could afford that, right? We've all been there. I get to make this a business expense. If I was working a traditional job and providing for my family, I'd probably be saying the same thing. I'm like, well, dadgum, I'm not to wait. I get that. But you got to think who this is marketed toward. $8K on PS5 box is an HDMI standard logo. William Brokeboy Lewis with 14 months as a member. This is what I think may happen. It's reported that half the current PlayStation user base is on PS4. I don't think they will go for the Pro, but they may go to the current. I ain't between checks. I'm saying I ain't got 8K TV kind of money. Right, whether you're behind checks or, whether you're between checks or you're just frugal or like you're at a spectrum of income where you're like, dude, I can't have top of the line. I can have nice things, but I can't have top of the line. Doesn't matter. I'm talking about wherever you are on the spectrum, the people that are being marketed to here are the people that buy the best as soon as it comes out. They have the best right now, or they're going to be getting the best. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think people are misunderstanding. If they think this is too expensive at $700, it's like, I think the people that are looking at buying this don't even compute what you're saying. They're like, what do you mean $700? Who the frick cares? They're just going to swipe the card and move on with their day. Less people will buy this in the PS4 Pro, and that came price at $400. I feel like this entire generation, everybody has continued to say that the PlayStation won't sell or the PlayStation stuff won't sell well, and then it does. So it's like I don't think this is going to have any challenge selling. PS5 Pro is a decent price for me. Most of my games are digital, but PC for same price is impossible. There are many like myself who've been saving up for a PS5 regular, so by releasing this news now, they did good to allow us to save a little while longer. 780 is a lot of hardcore if they care about physical. No, I don't disagree with that at all. I think the people that are actually getting kind of hit the worst by the price are the people that have a physical library of PlayStation 5 games. I 100% agree with that. Did the PSVR 2 sell well at its OG price? They only sold it on PlayStation Direct, and they didn't sell it in traditional stores, and they didn't even market it. And they sold it in like the slowest quarter of the year. I think it sold perfectly fine. It was never going to sell like gangbusters. It's a VR. VR is expensive, and a lot of people don't like VR. I think the PSVR 2 sold totally fine for how they marketed it, how they sold it, and how it was limited. You could only get it from them. It wasn't like they had it in retail stores. They didn't push marketing for it. It wasn't like a big holiday release. I think they knew it was going to be a slow rollout. VR is always going to be slow. It's always going to be slow. So, like, yeah, I don't think this is going to struggle, Paul. I don't. I really don't. I don't think you and I are in agreement that it's not going to be the majority of the users, but I also don't think these things are going to be like sitting on shelves collecting dust. I'm telling you, You see the commercial, you see the marketing, you read these CNET reports, people are going to line up to buy this. They will. The PC guys can mock it. The Xbox bleed green guys can say everybody buying it's a sucker, they're stupid, or whatever kind of copium they want to huff on. People are going to buy this thing. It's going to impact the market. It already has. They quite literally got AMD to develop new ray tracing feature sets that aren't on any GPUs right now. And developers love it. That is going to have an impact. Developers are going to clamor to harness this power because they love ray tracing. Mark Cerny listens to the developers. That's the war he's been fighting. Don't just try to go for the consumers with marketing and buzzwords. He went to the developers and was like, what do you need? And he has given them that once again. This isn't even a question that this device is going to affect where developers want to build, because they're going to say, they got proprietary advanced ray tracing feature sets that we can use, and they have proprietary upscaling that can help us get better performance. What, are you kidding me? Developers are going to flock to that. They're going to love that they can utilize this machine. And then you'll start to see it land on GPUs, and then that'll be great for porting the games over if you're a third party or if you're a first party developer for if you're a PlayStation Studio. For years after the PS5 debuted in the middle of pandemic time seemed to have flown, but this is now the actual pastime when Sony tends to release a mid-cycle. The PlayStation 4 Pro arrived 3 years after the PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 5 debuted 4 years after that. By that math, maybe the PS6 could come 4 years from now. I've continued to think that we're getting the PlayStation 6 in 2029. I think they're going to stretch this gen by 1 year, but by one more year, but I could be wrong. Consoles aren't at a next-gen point yet, but who knows if they ever will be. What? What are you talking about? What's this mean? What do you mean? Have you played any of the PS5 next-gen game? What are you talking about? Microsoft is increasingly focused on its subscription library running everywhere. Game streaming is continuing to spread, and smaller PC gaming handhelds like the Steam Deck are reinventing ways to play games and rediscovering what consoles can be. Sony has opened many of its games onto PC, so they are already a bunch of PlayStation gamers who don't have a PlayStation at all. PC gaming, which Sony is increasingly involved in, lots of flagship first-party games coming to Steam, and the PlayStation VR 2 now having its own PC adapter, is a landscape of perpetual change. There are already plenty of games that can optimize to many GPUs and displays. It's expected. To a PC gaming crowd, a PS5 Pro may or may not seem appealing, but for someone who wants to play bleeding-edge games with stepped-up graphics on their own amazing TV, the PS5 Pro looks like exactly a step-up splurge. Right, and we had this conversation before. Aaron Wright with 21 months, thank you so much. I've been saying for months now that I'm not buying a Pro. Now that it's about here, I'll probably buy one, maybe even pre-order. That bumps the line to 253 members on the week. Thank you for renewing that Member Plus. Listen, we talked about this before, and the PC guys scoff at this, right? They'll scoff at it. They'll put quotes like this in their videos, and they'll rage and yell and scream. Listen to me. If you are the vast majority of the PC gaming user base does not have a rig that can do anything close to 4K or ray tracing. They don't even have, a lot of the gaming rigs out there are strong enough to run like Among Us or games at like 1080, 30, 1080, 60, okay? If that individual is considering upgrading their rig and they see this commercial, they see trailers, and they see performance modes, 4K ray tracing in games like Gran Turismo and Spider-Man and other mainline games, even a game like Hogwarts Legacy, and that is only going to cost them $700, you've really got to consider that that's a winsome offer to them. PlayStation has already shown a significant amount of PlayStation 5 owners, what is it, like 25% of them didn't even own a PS4. They're getting new consumers from somewhere, and the Pro, to act like all PC gamers are going to turn their nose up to this, I think is naive. If you are in the market for upgrading your rig and you see this thing at $700 and you see the performance it's outputting, you're going to consider it. You're 100% going to consider it. Not everybody is a bleeding edge PC enthusiast with the 4090 and RGB, like the, and like lights behind their monitor.
A lot of people on PC don't have rigs that are even close to strong enough to run things at 4K and ray tracing. Yeah, if you're a hardcore PC guy that never wants a console, you're hearing what I'm saying and you think I sound stupid. You have to consider there's a ton of people in the PC audience that aren't like you. They're not like you. $700, I can get a better PC? No, you can't. If you want to go bleeding edge on a PC, if you want to build a rig that can do like 4K ray tracing performance, you're not doing that for $700. You want to clip this and run this on Twitter and make fun of me and try to eBay bargain bin shop your way to a PC that can do that? Get real. You are not building a PC for $700 or upgrading an existing PC for $700 and getting that. You'd have to have a pretty decent rig right now to get away with that. I could probably do that with my 2080 rigs. I could probably spend about $700 and get the upgrades needed. Even still, the graphics card alone is going to be a huge chunk of that. That's if my motherboard's even compatible with the newer bigger cards. I don't even know if it is. My power supply might not even be compatible. Those cards are enormous. Like, it's always a ripple effect when you go to upgrade your rig. You can't just go buy one thing and fix all your problems. You usually have to buy a number of parts. You buy one of those really nice big graphics cards, you might have to get a new motherboard. Then you probably need a new power supply because your power supply might not be strong enough to run the new card and everything else in your rig. It's always a ripple effect. A $5 super chat from PC Master Race. $700 for the digital PS5 Pro with a mere upscaled 4K 60 with some ray tracing. The PC Master Race send its condolences. Yeah, well, nobody gives a frick what the PC Master Race thinks because nobody's marketing to you. Nobody's making games for you, and nobody's marketing to you. The consoles aren't marketing to you, and the game developers aren't marketing to you. You're like a 1% of a 1% in the market. You're nothing. You're not even a quantifiable group of people. You're just obnoxious on the internet. XCal with 28 months and a VIP, welcome back. You think anybody gives a single ounce of a frick about what the PC Master Race thinks? You guys are a slice of a slice of a slice. You're the smallest percentage in the gaming community. No, nobody's making anything for you other than hardware developers, like they're making graphics cards for you. Sure, they're making bleeding edge technology for you, but the developers and the console makers, they don't give a frick about you. Who are you? You're nothing. You're nothing. You're an unquantifiable number. You don't even measure on the Richter scale. That's why you get so mauding and insecure about these discussions, because you know that you're the minority. You're the minority and you don't matter. You buy your bleeding edge tech, and who makes games for you? Who? A small smattering of games every year that actually push everything to the bleeding point, and almost most games don't? And even when they do, a lot of times they're horribly optimized and they run poorly. Who are you? You can't get a better PC for $700, no chance. That's what I'm saying. Stop being goofy. You sound silly. PC Master Race is supposed to be smart. You're supposed to be intelligent. You guys are saying you can build a better rig for $700? Well, then go do it. Why are you in my chat if you can go build a rig that amazing for $700? You're apparently a magician and a time traveler. PWH Sound with a $5 super chat tip. Says, Sony went to a unified SKU for the current PS5 with an optional disk drive, but people expect them to revert that for the PS5 Pro. Logic, right? That's what I'm saying. I get that people building a physical library are upset. That's totally understandable. But like I said, I moved to digital a long time ago because I just thought it's just easier, it's more convenient. It suits my needs. You can get a better PC for $20 a month on GeForce Now. $700 is like at least 3 months. You're right. My rebuttal, says Zubair. Lono's absolutely right. Console's the most bang for the buck. PC's advantage is you get the most bang if you want. Right, it's completely different consumers. It's completely different desires. You know, if you're PC Master Race, I don't have any issue with you.
But when PC Master Race wants to get all like malding and like butthurt and talk about how this is a scam and a ripoff and this is a joke and we send our condolences, dude, nobody gives a frick about you. Like, nobody cares what you think. You're not a factor in the market. You buy bleeding edge hardware so you can have the strongest PC in existence, and you're like 1% of the PC gaming world. Like little brother syndrome. Come on now. To be fair, 75% of people play games on their phone. Like, yes, but if you look at the saturation of the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch 2 will probably sell incredibly well. If you look at the sales trajectories of the PS5, like, there are clearly tons and tons of people that have no problem going for path of least resistance, ease of use purchase. Whether it's gaming on the go with the Nintendo Switch or the plug-and-play accessibility of a console for their living room, like with the PlayStation or an Xbox, like, it's clear that there's a significantly sized market that's okay with, hey, we want this. We like this. And to act like no one's ever going to change where they game, there are people in this community that have done that. I've done that. I've switched where I primarily game. There are people here who have really nice PCs, but they still get the PlayStation 5 because they wanted to play Ragnarok. They didn't want to wait. To think that all consumers are like you is just weird. I'll admit I'm a little surprised at first that the PS5 Pro demos I saw were all established PS5 games with no new exciting content in sight. Yeah, because they don't want to make you sign NDAs about games that they haven't announced yet, brother. A 2-spot from GP says, as an Xbox owner, rest in peace in Sony. I don't understand. Are you saying rip Sony or rip in Sony? What are you talking about? Like, what? I don't understand. What are you trying to say? Rip in Sony? Rest in peace in Sony? Like, is Sony a casket and you're climbing in? Benzo with a 5-spot says, technically, with so little IP releases on the PS5, it seems devs aren't making games for the PS5 either. With the 6 exclusives they released this year. What are you talking about? Probably one of the biggest commercial successes this year, Black Myth Wukong, is only available on PS5 and PC. You can't get it on Xbox. What are you talking about? What about Helldivers 2 as a console exclusive? It sold really well. What about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or Rise of the Ronin or Stellar Blade? What about those titles? They don't count. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Those don't count. Like, first party certainly has taken a break, and I believe they kicked the can down the road because they wanted their studios developing games to be PS5 Pro enhanced. But this fan fiction false headcanon that, like, PlayStation's had a bad year and hasn't had any new games and PC, so it's not exclusive. Yeah, and if you're an Xbox fan, you never get exclusives then, according to that logic. Congratulations, you just played yourself. Rise of the Ronin was trash. I thought it was fine. I thought it was good. It was an enjoyable game. It's their highest selling game to date. Rise of the Ronin outsold what was it, like their best selling Neo game or all the Neo games or something like that? Rise of the Ronin's their best selling game to date. Sure, Jam. Like, the Helldivers 2 doesn't count because it lands on PC, so it's not exclusive. Therefore, Xbox hasn't had a single exclusive this year. Congratulations. You did such a great job in this argument, arguing that Xbox has had an even worse year. Good job. Your own logic has chopped off the branch you were flimsily standing on. And yet 4K 60 FPS gaming is so tempting if you have a display for it. And all the demos I tried, I found myself wondering if I just want to play everything in this mode and never look back. It was hard to return to 30 FPS gaming on some of the PS5's fastest paced games like Ratchet & Clank and Spider-Man 2. Yeah, it's really hard to go back to 30 FPS games. What are you talking about? Never have I seen a bigger shill? So now you're resulting to ad hominem because your own logic defeated your argument. And so you'll call me a shill. Because I've enjoyed the exclusive games that I've gotten this year. And I haven't enjoyed my Xbox. Who said I was an Xbox fan? Yeah, no one? Okay. So I'm assuming then, if you're not an Xbox fan, maybe you're a PC Master Race fan. Okay. Did you get to play Stellar Blade? Can you play Astrobot? What about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Did you get to play any of those games? No? I did play Rise. It was trash. So you own a PS5 and you're in here spending money to talk trash about it. Okay. That's the level of intelligence we're dealing with. Okay. It's good to know. I know a lot of multi-platform gamers, and I wonder if the expectations for Sony are that their own games will increasingly be that way too. I think multi-device players are growing, but it's not a significant portion from the PlayStation console community point of view at this point. This is Nishinu talking, but I think more customers want to play a kind of multiple devices, so that will grow. Indiana Jones on the PS5 Pro will really be a movie. Yeah, you have a PS5. Yeah, you have a PS5, and you tipped money to say, technically with so little IP releases on the PS5, it seems devs aren't making games for the PS5 either. So, I mean, first and foremost, what you're saying is illogical because PlayStation 5 has gotten essentially inadvertent timed console exclusives. Baldur's Gate 3 came to PlayStation 5 first. Black Myth Wukong has come to PlayStation 5 first. Inatri is coming to PlayStation 5 first. So I don't know what you mean about like people aren't making games for PlayStation, as it has basically gotten accidental, timed console exclusives. So clearly they're making games for the PS5. Also, to act like IP hasn't released this year to support your idea that games aren't being made for the PS5 is woefully uninformed, as Stellar Blade, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Rise of the Ronin, all of these games were made by companies that are not PlayStation studios. So do you even know what you're talking about, or you just throw money around to say things that are empty and vapid? Like, what are you even talking about? Those were all games that weren't even made by PlayStation Studios. So in order to make your claim that they're not having games made for their platform, you have to use a year where most of the games being launched exclusively for PlayStation have been made by non-PlayStation studios, third-party or second-party developers. Your logic is dizzying. Truly dizzying. I don't even understand what you're trying to claim. As CNET's resident VR expert, I'm curious what the PS5 Pro can do for the PlayStation VR 2, although Sony's support for the headset has been underwhelming. Completely agree with that. Cerny said that the Pro will allow higher resolution games on the PS5 VR 2 thanks to the GPU boost, and eventually a tuning of Sony's AI upscaling that will work with VR games. But no specific PSVR 2 upgraded games have been announced yet, and I wonder what those improvements would even feel like. I mentioned to Cerny and Nishino that I'd still love to see original PSVR games like Astrobot Rescue Mission, which are incompatible with the PSVR 2, to get ports that still haven't happened yet. I didn't get a response to that comment. Yeah, because I don't think that they're going to do that. I don't think that there's an interest there in doing backwards compatibility in those games, which sucks because there are some good ones back there. There are. So I also wonder about the peripherals to come. The PlayStation Portal released last fall enables remote PS5 gaming in a handheld form, but it's dependent on Wi-Fi speeds, which can affect performance. Would a PS5 Pro improve future wireless handheld accessories? According to Sony, over 60% of the Portal owners are new to remote play, despite existing streaming solutions for remote play being available before on phone and tablets. That's pretty good. A Portal successor might be in Sony's future, perhaps one with Wi-Fi 7. That would be spectacular. A $700 mid-cycle upgrade console like the PS5 Pro isn't an expense most people will be up for, especially since the original PS5 is still a perfectly good game console. Sony seems to be ready for this reality, and Cerny and Nishino acknowledge that previous console upgrades have also been big draws for newcomers to PlayStation 2. A significant portion of PS4 Pro buyers were new customers, according to Sony, and the same is true for PS5. That suggests a new wave of would-be PS5 gamers might come on board with the Pro. It's remarkable, isn't it? It's remarkable. It's almost like they're not marketing this to the people that say they don't have an interest in it. Like, it's truly remarkable. A significant portion of the PS4 Pro buyers were brand new consumers. According to Sony, the same is true for the PS5. We know this. A huge percentage of PS5 owners didn't even have a PS4. And this suggests a new wave of would-be PS5 gamers might be on board with the Pro. Yeah, almost like they're marketing this to people who don't currently have a dedicated gaming solution. Like a PC Master Race or a hardcore Xbox owner or somebody who's perfectly satisfied with their PS5. You know what I mean? I'm taking notes. Hang on. Sell to people that want the thing. That's right. That's right. It truly is baffling. People who the device isn't made for and weren't interested in the first place are big mad that they got confirmation it's not made for them. Right. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. A bunch of people who have no interest in the ecosystem or console gaming, and they have their solution. They have their way that they like gaming. They're all like, can you believe it? Can you believe this thing doesn't appeal to me? I can't believe it. You don't say. You don't say. You know what I'm going to do tomorrow? I'm going to watch a live stream of all of the latest and greatest new vegan products, and I'm going to seethe and maul and yell about how I have no interest in these brand new vegan products. That's a good use of my time. Oh, wait, no, it's not, because I'm not a psycho. I'm not a psychotic person that needs my feelings about a product affirmed. Jiminy Christmas, people. Can you believe this vegan bacon? Absolutely stupid. It looks like rubber. Who would buy this vegan bacon? Well, not you, you moron. What are you watching this content for? Who would do such a thing? Why are you spending your time? Why? Why is that how some of you spend your time? Touch grass. Or smoke some, for crying out loud. You're literally making yourself miserable and unhappy. It doesn't, it's just insane. Oh, look at this turkey burger. Oh my gosh. Doesn't even look like a burger. This is a good time to warn you about jackfruit. Jackfruit is awful. Believe none of the vegetarian lies. My wife made something with jackfruit once, Zubair, and it actually tasted totally fine. Texture, flavor, all fine. There's like no protein in it. We were starving like 2 hours later. It was like we didn't eat anything. I ate a whole bowl. And I was like, this is really good, babe. And then 2 hours later, I was like, God, I'm freaking starving. It was like I didn't eat anything. Meanwhile, they're mediocre in their daily lives. Broken Lobo with the 2-spot. Thank you, dude. Thank you, dude. Let me give you guys the 10 bomb that I owe you. We're going to get out of here pretty soon. If you guys want to scramble and try to get to 300, I'll owe you another 10 bomb of members. We're going to schedule a writer's room, and we're going to figure out the video that I'm going to have to make for tomorrow. Most markets have a pro model, so in that respect, consoles are just the same. It might just be the addressable market is not as big as phones or PC. Creative Strategies analyst Carolina Milanesi said of the PS5 Pro. According to Sony, there is not much of a lift required for games to run on the Pro. Taking advantage of the new specs, console versus PC should be more of a question of preference than of priority. The experience is not better, it's just different. In that sense, the PS5 Pro might be seen as a console alternative to gaming PCs. Don't say that. Don't say that. In 2024, PC gaming expectations are greater than they were 4 years ago, and the PS5 Pro can keep up with how games are already been upgraded. I wouldn't want to upgrade from a PS5 right now myself, but if I were getting a PS5 for the first time, I'd strongly consider the Pro for any TV upgrades I would make in the future. Telling you, I said this months ago, and I got a lot of flack. I was mocked. I was hated on, and I'm here to tell you, and a 20 bomb from MASH comes in and takes us to 274 members, making it really easy to scramble to 300. My man MASH. Appreciate you guys so much. So many new subscribers today as well. Over 200 new subscribers. If you got a gifted member, say thank you to the person that gifted it and consider upgrading to Member Plus. Jump out of that gifted member pool, give up your seat to somebody else. It's like gifting a member and it only costs $1. You can upgrade for $1, pick Member Plus, and get out of that pool and give up your seat to somebody else. We currently have 539 people at Member Plus and above. We're trying to get that number to 600. I do an IRL stream anytime we hit those milestones to celebrate on the weekend with you. I also have to play the Date Everything Simulator. If we hit 1,000 people at Member Plus and above, I have to do a PC building stream. I will buy a brand new top-of-the-line rig, and I'll build it for you. That's the long-term milestone. So consider upgrading. We continue to see good movement there. Thank you to everybody who's doing it. And Stone Spire rounds us out to 275, making it really, really easy to hit 300 with a couple of 5 bombs. And if any of the big boys drop those 10s and 20s, I'm going to schedule the writer's room. Let's get the heck out of here, man. We had a massive, massive day. This video is close to 60,000 total views. Whew, man. That's incredible. All right, let me schedule this writer's room. I'm going to schedule it for 1. That's in 5 minutes. You guys have 5 minutes. 5 minutes to scramble. I'll tell you what I'll do. Instead of doing a 10 bomb, I'll do a 20. I'll double what I owe you if you guys scramble to 300. I like doing these gauntlets at the end. We get a bunch of dope homies added to the community. And then I end up gifting even more than I owe. I appreciate you guys doing that. It's been fun. It's been fun to see the community and the channel just continue to grow. Okay. A PS5, Series S gaming laptop. All I really need is a new Switch. It's a good time. It's a good time to be a gamer with this kind of hardware choices and these hardware options that, at your disposal, You want to go crazy and buy the absolute best PC? We're not going to be able to do Green Room today because I think I'm going to have to make a video, Sven. I'm going to have to end Writer's Room, and instead of going to Green Room and hanging out, I'm going to have to make a video. I'm going to have to make an upload. We're going to have to get a POV and an idea of what we want to do with this PS5 Pro. There's a lot here. Sony's out of touch with the price for such a small visual difference. I think you guys are out of touch with who they're trying to sell it to. Roughly 40% of the people who took my poll said that they're going to buy one. 6,000 votes on the poll. Let's actually end that so you guys can see the results in the chat. My Twitter poll, I think, is close to 1,000 votes. I think. Is it at like 700? Yeah, 730. It's almost the same results. Like 46% said they will. There are people that want this thing. There are people right now, again, you have to consider, there are people right now who haven't upgraded from a PS4 yet. And they're like, yo, give me that. I want the biggest and the best. For $700, what do you do when it overheats? What do you mean when it overheats? When is that happening? Where is that happening? What are you talking about? What? Like, you can spend $600 right now and get a Series X 2 terabyte, like, what is called the Galaxy Edition. What are you going to ask the same question? Do you ask that question of other hardware? Like, what are you going to do when it overheats? Like, what do you mean? Like, anytime you buy hardware that's expensive, are you, like, paranoid that it's going to overheat? I never had a PS4 Pro. I had a community that wanted me to play Destiny on the PlayStation, so they sent me a PS4. And then I didn't buy into the PlayStation market until the PS4 Pro. That's when I decided to buy in. I think there are going to be people that do the same in this situation. They're going to be like, you know what? I've been hanging out on this PS4. Holy crap. 8K gaming with Gran Turismo or 4K ray tracing modes. Dude, I'm buying. There's going to be people that do that. I don't even think this is really a worthy discussion. To think that no one's going to buy this, like, I just think that it's just such a weird look. All right, you guys have 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I threw down the gauntlet. If we hit 300 members, I drop a 20 bomb, and then let's get out of here. We're going to go to the writer's room. You got 2 minutes to scramble. If you don't scramble, don't worry. This has been an incredible day and an incredible number, but I always like to give you guys that opportunity. Does Lono know that me as a Filipino in my country here in Metro Millennium, that 700 USD is more than enough for me to buy a decent yet powerful PC rig? Okay, what about everybody else that isn't in that exact same scenario? You can spend $700 right now and build a rig that can do 4K ray tracing in a game like Horizon Forbidden West. So you could spend $700, build a rig, and play Horizon 4K ray tracing. You could do that. Okay. All right. Why haven't you done that, I guess, would be my question. Crowquill gifts a member. He tries to poke the line to see if he can stoke the last-minute fires with a minute left. And then Dwayne renews a standard membership. Says, hello, Reforge. How are you today? What's good, Dwayne? Thank you so much. All right, let me give you guys a link to the writer's room. Crowquill says, throw one out there. Isn't the Asus ROG like $800? I mean, you can't take it. You can take it with you though. That is different, right? You have a doctor's appointment. Write down all the funny stuff. We'll do that for you, Zoob. Horizon Forbidden West going to run 4K 60, or like Gran Turismo 7. We have it on. We have CNET saying that you can play Gran Turismo 7 at 8K, or you can play it, at 4K, at 4K ray tracing. It's just such a silly debate. You know what? Just do it. Go spend $700 and build a rig that's capable of it. And then while you're doing that and playing those awesome games and getting that awesome performance, you can leave the rest of us alone. All right? There's the link in chat. Let's get out of here. Thanks so much for being a member, and you may have gotten a gifted member today. Humongous day on the channel covering the PS5 Pro live stream. A ton of gifted members. If you got a gifted membership and you would prefer to just have your own that you're paying for, as well as getting access to extra content, go to that membership tab and pick Member Plus. It's only $1 more instead of $5 a month at $6. We have had huge movement there. We're at 539 people at Member Plus and above. Keep doing that. When we hit 600, we'll do another celebration IRL stream where I hang out with you in my backyard, and then we will also do a Date Everything Simulator stream. I'm going to end the previous stream and redirect people over to the writer's room. If you're not a member, become a member. Click join and be sure to pick Member Plus. Pick that $6 tier.